And that was a quick opening. Let me tell you, that went quick. All right, this is for the update for Panikin's Rehab news update on the weekdays. I'm T. Skillett. I'll be your host for the afternoon weekday show. And this is just a afternoon weekend or weekday update for news that you might have missed between lunch and dinner. So here we go. Wrote down some notes here. All right. So Israel continues heavy strikes in Lebanon with a death toll reaching 300. Hezbollah responds with rocket fire into Israel. These actions risk derailing recent 2-week ceasefire negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. Now, let's see if I can show. Over the last couple of days, these are the strikes that Israel has struck on Lebanon. And let's see if we can show the destruction. I'll tell you, they've been taking it to Hezbollah in Lebanon over the last few days. Yeah, so it's kind of tough. I mean, Hezbollah, they throw a lot of rockets every year into Israel, and Israel is retaliating. So, but they don't need to be doing it right now during peace negotiations. That's how I feel anyway. Let's see. Okay. U.S. Iran ceasefire holds a shaky ground ahead of high-stake peace talks in Pakistan. President Trump accuses Iran of violations of the ceasefire and issues with stalled transportation through the Straits of Hormuz. So they were supposed to open up the Straits of Hormuz, and the Straits of Hormuz is not open. For some reason, the Iranians felt that they have to. They told the captains of the ships that they have to contact the Iranian army to get permission to go through the Straits of Hormuz during the ceasefire. So, as you know, the Straits of Hormuz is a upside down U that's above Oman and below Iran. So as you can see that the ships have to go through these straits, which is easy to attack. So of course, the insurance companies that insure the ships and the ship's captains and the safety of the crews, they don't want to go through this Straits of Hormuz without a ceasefire and protection of not getting damaged. Melania Trump held a press conference yesterday. Let me just see. Yeah, Melania Trump made a rare public statement denying any ties to Jeffrey Epstein. She calls for a congressional hearing with Epstein survivors and labeled the related claims as defamation lies. So they said that she had to explain to the American people yesterday in an impromptu presser that Epstein didn't introduce her to President Trump when they first met. So I don't know. It's like in the first, we all kind of understand in the first term of Trump's term, it was Russia, 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 and now it's Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. J.D. Vance, he's headed off to Vice President J.D. Vance is headed out to campaign with Viktor Orban. And Viktor Orban is running for president of Hungary, for Hungary. So JD's over there helping Orban win the presidency of Hungary. He landed in Budapest, and then after this visit in Budapest, Hungary, JD heads off to Pakistan, Islamabad for the weekend peace negotiations. Hey, I got an idea. Maybe J.D. Vance and President Trump need to be concentrating more in this nation. This nation is called the United States of America. They could be in Virginia because Virginia is trying to redistrict their congressional seats, which would add 10 Democratic congressional seats to Virginia and one Republican. Yeah, that seems fair. That election is going to be in a few. That election for that rule is going to be in a few days. It could be maybe one or two of them could go to Colorado and try to free Tina Peters, that's held as a political prisoner in Colorado. Or maybe, hey, here's an idea. Maybe JD Vance could go up to Minnesota with his fraud commission and smoke out some more fraud in Minnesota, and then get in that plane and fly all the way over to California. How about that, California? And then smoke out some fraud between their train, their their hospice, and their homeless fraud that's going on. Then maybe he could get in a van and drive from California over to Arizona and go talk with that crazy governor, and then maybe go up to let's see where else. Oh, go over to Texas, right? So where they want to bring religion back to the schools, which means Sharia uh, could uh, could enter the schools. Yeah, and then maybe you could go over to Louisiana. Anyway, I think you guys get my point. So I think we got a lot of problems here in the United States that they need to address. And how about supercharging deportations of illegal aliens? Now, the economy, because of epic fury, it's having a little bit of effect right now on gas prices. So let's see. Here's a guy. He's filling up today. He's got to fill up his SUV at the pumps. Get out those $100 bills there, bucko, because it's going to cost a lot of money to fill up. Economic and domestic ripples from epic fury, raising gas and diesel prices will affect our economy. So stock up, drive less. Hey, it's the summertime. Look at me. I'm planting flowers, so get outside, enjoy your garden. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, dress appropriately, right? Oh, this is good news. Here's some good news. The Artemis program, the NASA Artemis 2 crew prepares for a historic splashdown today at 8:07 p.m. Eastern. Splashdown will be in the Pacific Ocean off San Diego, California. I'll give you a map of the area. This is where the Artemis 2 is going to be splashing down. Target zones is 50 to 80 miles off the coast of San Diego, 5:07. And basically what they do, the crew gets ready for re-entry into Earth. It's going to be a little bit greater angle. It's not going to be a low orbit re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. It's going to be more of a direct entry into the atmosphere, kind of like a meteorite would come into the atmosphere in that trajectory. So it's going to be a short burn, slowing down, and then going through our atmosphere, which isn't going to create as much heat and friction as a normal, longer reentry, sort of what happened to the shuttle. So that's why they had the tiles on the outside of the shuttle. And, there was some damaged shuttle or damaged tiles, which allowed the heat from that reentry to get in and start taking apart the aircraft before it could get all the way through the atmosphere. So that's going to be tonight. And then after they splash down in the Pacific, they pull the capsule and bring it into the recovery ship. And then the crew will depart the capsule. So we're looking forward to that tonight at 8:07. Make sure you're watching the TV for that. It's going to be good. Don't forget that we've got the Killer Carl uh, radio show tomorrow on the John Fredericks Media Network, all their AM channels and FM channels in 21 states. 21 states. Yeah. 21. Yeah. 21 states. Killer Carl's on at 8 a.m. And then after that, it's I don't know, whatever they call Gorilla. No, is it Godzilla Sports is on at 9. So you have Killer Carl at 8, and then Godzilla Sports is on at 9. That's for tomorrow. Now, this is Panic and Rehab. We have a morning show. It starts at 8 o'clock. We go over some good news. What's the famous for the day, birth dates and things like that. Today's birthday, of course, was Omar Sharif. This crazy Perry, our admiral, and John Madden. We kind of go over, historic birthdays of people that had a birthday today. Also, today was notable because Paul McCartney quits the Beatles. That was back in God knows whenever. So the end of the Beatles was April 10th. How about that? All right. It was also the the only and last sailing of the Titanic that left today from Southampton, port of England. So wave goodbye because they're going to have a very bad cruise. All right. So that's today. We were comparing this morning. We were comparing the Titanic with new cruise ships like this. So you get about 5 or 6 of these that leave every Friday and Saturday from the port of Miami. So these cruise ships are wild. They have like 5,000 passengers to 3,000 crew members. Tons of food, tons of things to do on a cruise. They go to these island excursions, and everybody gets a good sunburn and lose a little money in the casino, maybe make a little money in the casino, who knows? And then after that beautiful cruise, come back and go back to your job and everything else you got to do. All right, so let's wish JD Vance luck this weekend in Pakistan negotiating with the Iranians. And let's hope that he has safe travels. All right, that's it. Afternoon news update. Have a wonderful day. And remember, don't take news so seriously because there'll just be more news tomorrow.